it's Alexis. If you're new here, I like to craft. I like to share all of my random crafts and my weird ideas with all of you. And that's what we're here to do today. So, for this video, I'm going to be doing something a little different, okay? I'm going to sew a dress. Now, I have made one other dress before, and I followed a YouTube video. I made it out of cotton fabric that I got from Walmart, and it's okay. For a dress with like no zippers, no elastics, I just slip on over my head, it's okay. I probably have it in there somewhere. I could probably like try it on and put a clip in here. But today, I have bought a pattern off of Etsy, and we're going to tweak it to try and recreate this Free People dress. Now, I'm really scared. First, I don't want to get like, I don't even know, demonetized. I'm not even monetized. But I don't want them to like strike my video for like using photos off of their website and whatever. So I'm scared about that. But the second thing I'm scared about, I don't really know how to tweak patterns. The pattern I found is almost the like exact makeup of the dress. I just need to tweak like the tiered like skirt type level. In my head, I think that it's things that I can figure out how to do. So we'll see. I've already figured out how to print the pattern, so that's all printed out in the other room. I just need to like cut it all up and tape it all together. But I also have all of my fabric here. I think this is 3.5 yards. And what am I gonna do? That's a great question. I am going to wash it, which apparently means I need to sew around the entire edge of this gigantic piece of fabric so that when I put it in the wash, it doesn't fray so much. Is that smart and logical? Yeah. Do I want to do it? No. But I'm going to, because I want to make this dress right. I want to make it and wear it and not wash it and it shrinks 2 sizes. So, I'm gonna do the right thing and I'm going to sew around this entire dress. Let's do it. Okay, I'm just going to put my fabric in the wash. I have a couple other things in there just so it's not super empty. Tripod, I don't know. And yeah, I'm just going to wash it probably on a cool setting. Yeah. I'm a little nervous, but the video I watched said you want to rinse your fabric how you normally wash your finished product in like your other clothes, so yeah. I'm scared. Okay. I've got the pattern here that I printed off, and it's 45 pages, so I need to like start piecing it together. The pages are numbered, which is super helpful. So I'm gonna start cutting it out and trying to tape it together. This is all the tape I have right now, so I'm waiting until we get a little more. But yeah, this is the next step. Okay, so my fabric is washed and I have all of my pattern pieces all cut out. So right now I'm just going to start ironing some sections in preparation to start cutting. Okay, so I've cut out all of my regular pattern pieces. Now to cut out some of my own for the tweaks that I'm gonna make. I'm going to show you guys how I cut out and kind of just ruched and ruffled this. So I'm taking one of the pattern pieces which is about the width of that small little panel that I want. I folded all of my fabric in half, so it's going to be a lot longer than this, but that way I can actually ruche it and bunch it up together to the size that this is. So I'm just using this as a width guide mark, not length. I'm cutting it out a lot longer than this is. So I just folded all my fabric in half, and I'm just going to roughly cut it to be this width. And then I'll take it to my sewing machine. So to do the ruching on this fabric, I have my sewing machine set to my, I don't know, longest stitch length, and then my highest, I think this is the tension, so that the straight stitch is like really long and loose, and that's gonna allow me to hold on to the string and just bunch it all up together. So basically all I'm going to do is straight stitch all the way down the length of this fabric, but I am not going to back stitch. You want to leave it nice and open so there's no tension or anything. Now that I did a straight stitch, no back stitch at the beginning or end, you can take a piece of the thread and just start kind of pulling it and pushing the fabric in, and that'll kind of make this really bunched up look. And I'm just going to keep doing it until it's the size of this piece, so it's the same size as all the other tiers, so that I can just throw it in there. I definitely do not think that this is how they did it for the actual dress, because it doesn't really have like a ruched look. It's almost more like folded and stuff. I don't know, but this is kind of just the closest and easiest way that I know that I could get my fabric to look similar. So this is what I'm going with, and it's fine if it doesn't work out, because this is kind of just a fun little experiment to see if I can make something like what they have. I'm also a little nervous about how this fabric is going to turn out, since the cotton I'm working with is definitely a little more like stiff instead of flowy. But if I really don't like it, then this is a really good practice to make another one with some different fabric if I wanted to later. So I'm just going to keep doing this all the way across, and then come back and make sure it's the same length as this tier. Okay, this is what my piece looks like all bunched up. So now I've got these two pieces cut out, and I'm just gonna start following the pattern. So obviously I'm not gonna like show you guys how to do that, but the pattern that I'm using will be linked in the description. So yeah, I mean, I'll show you guys, you know, little glimpses, but I'm not gonna give you a tutorial. I really hope that I got the right type of elastic for this. So the top is coming along pretty good. I'm really happy with this pattern so far, honestly. It's been really easy to understand. And seeing as how this is my first time like ever actually buying a clothing pattern, I think it's going pretty well. I think it's a good pattern for a beginner, as long as you understand, you know, very basic sewing things. For me, this has been really easy. So I feel like if you've done some basic projects before, you would be able to get the gist of making this dress. Okay, got my first elastic cut. I think it's the right one. I got the knit kind because I think on the back it said it was good for clothing. So, okay, time to sew this in. I have kind of completed the top portion. Not like the straps or anything yet, but I am moving on to the bottom tier. And so the way I'm doing it is I'm going to have a little bit of regular, then the ruche, and then the bottom is regular again. So what I'm gonna do is cut this in half so that I can just have a decent amount at the waist down, and then put in the ruche, and then put the rest down at the bottom. I might cut it a little smaller so it doesn't end up being like a weird long length. We'll see. But I think for now, I'm gonna look at the reference picture again, but I think I'm just gonna cut this in half. Okay, I'm turning in for the night, as you can tell by my evening garb. But I just wanted to say, the last clip you saw, I said I was going to cut that piece of fabric in half. So what I actually did was, from the notch that I had on there from the pattern, I actually measured 10 inches down. So it was a little more of an uneven cut. But I thought that that was just what felt right. I kind of held it up and measured a little bit. So that's where I left off. And I'm about to sew like the top bodice part onto the next tier. So that is what I'm going to be tackling tomorrow. Okay, so I have the second tier on and the elastic all the way around. So now I'm going to stop with the regular pattern for now until the straps and everything, and I'm going to move on to my ruffled layer. So what I'm going to do is just take the two ruffled pieces that I made and join them at the sides with probably a 1 centimeter seam allowance, because that's mainly what everything else has been. So I'm going to use my 1 centimeter seam allowance to connect those to make it into a tube. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect it onto the second tier. It's turning out really good so far. I'm pretty happy. I just hope that it fits me well. Okay, now that I've got the ruffles sewn on, I'm going to use the last bit of the fabric that I cut off of the tier 2 and just sew it onto the bottom like that. And I think that that's gonna be how long I want the dress. So basically I'm just going to sew the side seams, then put it in right sides together and just sew all the way around. And then I'm going to like try it on a little bit and see if that's how long I want it. And if it's right, I'll just go ahead and hem the bottom so it looks nice. Okay, I am moving on to the straps now, but I just wanted to give an update on the bottom of the dress. So, it looks disgusting in here. But basically, I put on the flat, straight part like I said I was gonna do, and I just didn't like the way it looked. It kind of made this weird like bubble effect where the ruched part kind of went out and then the flat part just kind of cinched in. So instead, I just went with a little ruffle on the bottom, and I went ahead and hemmed that up so it looks nice and clean. I'm working on the straps now, but whenever I'm done, I am gonna go back in to the inside and put another overlocking stitch just around all of the ruffle area, just to kind of help with the fraying. But yeah, that is what I ended up doing yesterday. So I think that today is pretty much the last stretch. I still am not liking the straps, but maybe I can steam them to be softer. Or not the straps, this little bow thing. It's just so stiff. Okay, I'm gonna work on all the straps. Okay guys, I think that this is the end of the video, so I'm just gonna give my final thoughts. So I think in terms of making my first dress, first of all, this was a huge success. Now, in terms of how I envisioned it, 10 out of 10. I think it looks awesome. It pretty much looks exactly how I wanted it to. I think if I did it again though, I would just use a more flowy fabric. To be fair, going into this, I definitely did know that this wasn't the exact type of fabric that I wanted, but the only one that I found that I kind of liked was not in the color that I wanted. So if I did it again, I would either visit more shops or I would order online. I just didn't really want to order online in case I ordered something and then what came just wasn't what I was expecting. So at least in terms of like trying to do this for the first time, the construction and the way it turned out and the way it looks is like perfect. So if I really wanted like a dress that looks like this that I know I'm gonna wear 100%, I would definitely just choose a different fabric. But I was talking to my boyfriend and I was like, man, I really just want one video where it's like just a 100% like a complete win and like I make like the perfect project. And he's like, yeah, but that's kind of, you know, what revisiting videos and ideas is for. And he's right. You know, that's what crafting is. You don't always get it perfect on the first try, and that's okay because it's all a learning experience, you know? And honestly, I had a lot of fun making this. It was really fun. I was really into sewing in high school, and that's when I got my sewing machine. And making this just made me realize like how much I kind of miss it. I haven't really sewn any like big projects. This is my first like real garment I've ever made. So it was honestly just really fun getting back into that. So I think maybe I'll try and do more clothing patterns and stuff in the future. But yeah, overall, even though it wasn't 100% perfect, I consider this video and this outfit a complete success. And I learned a few new things too. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll see you next time. Bye!